Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show where we talk to people about getting books published, authors and publishers and editors and cover designers and people who could just help you get across that finish line. It's a lot of steps. And we're going to talk to people who've actually written books, and then they find out, wow, I'm just getting started, because once the book's written, you've got a lot more bigger steps. So we love to have people on the show who've done it, who've been successful at it. And our first guest today is Lynn Slaughter. Welcome, Lynn.
Well, thank you. I'm just delighted to be with you.
And I want to say congratulations, because I always say anybody could write a book, but few can get it written, then get it published and get it out there. And you didn't do it just once. You did it, what, 5 times?
That's true. That's true.
Now, I've been reading up on you a little bit, and it seems that you had a whole career before being an author. You were a dancer?
That's right. I was a professional dancer and dance educator for many, many years. And I guess I'm living proof that it's never too late to have a second career, because I published my first novel when I was 65.
Oh, my goodness.
So I feel that it's never too late.
And I think we have a lot in common, because I'm 65 now, but when I was older, I went back and got another master's degree. Did you do something like that too?
Yes, I did. I wrote my first book while I danced, and I got hooked on fiction. So I went to Seton Hill University and earned my MFA in my 60s.
Wow.
And that was a really great experience, and I've just kept going since then.
Yeah, that's very inspiring, Lynn. Now, and where are you right now?
I live in Louisville, Kentucky. I originally moved here many years ago to become chair of the dance department of a performing arts high school called the Youth Performing Arts School. So that's how I ended up in Louisville. I'm originally from the Northeast.
Northeast. And by the way, what type of dance did you specialize in?
Contemporary.
Contemporary dance, and teaching that.
Modern dance.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, so you get your MFA. Well, but you already wrote a novel while you were dancing. And tell me, what was your first novel?
My first novel is called While I Danced. And that was really inspired in part by the fact that in my 50s I had to have a hip replacement and retire. And I was very sad about not being able to dance anymore. And I got this idea for a novel about a young, aspiring dancer who is trying to unravel some secrets that her parent and her best friends are keeping from her. At the same time, she's trying to move forward with her dance career. So, looking back, I think it started out as a therapy project.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was grieving the loss of dance in my life. And then it became something else, and I thought, gee, I really enjoy writing fiction, so I just kept going.
Where did you go from there? I have all your book covers. I want to show some of them. There is While I Dance. What was your next one?
My next one after that is called It Should Have Been You, and that's about a teenager whose twin is murdered, and rumors have swirled that she is somehow involved in this. They did not get along. And she begins receiving these emails sent to the staff inbox of her high school newspaper, where she is ghostwriting an advice column. And these threatening messages say, it should have been you, but soon. So she's convinced that this online stalker thinks that she murdered her sister, and she has to figure out who really did it to save her own life.
Wow.
So.
Now, who are these written for?
You mean publishing-wise?
No, like, are they young adult? Or are they?
Oh, yes, right. They're young adults. Except for my most recent book, Miss Q.
I call them coming-of-age romantic mysteries. So
And by the way,
definitely
so Miss Cute
specialized in that until this last book.
Miss Cute is for everybody?
I'm sorry?
Miss Cute, is that for everybody?
Miss Q is an adult, I call it my debut adult mystery. It actually is sort of an accidental novel because a friend, a very dear friend, challenged me to write a short story for Malice Domestic's Murder Most Theatrical anthology. So I got this idea about this ballerina who dies on stage in the Act 3 of Romeo and Juliet. And the homicide detective has to figure out not only who killed the ballerina, but how they did it, because the autopsy doesn't reveal any apparent cause. But the short story didn't really satisfy me because I couldn't really get into deeply the character of the homicide detective and her issues. So I was able to do that in the novel, and in addition, by the time I finished, I actually had a different murderer at the end. So
You're the detective. You figured out who the killer was. Now, do you have, or is dance a theme of all your novels?
No, it really is not. In fact, those are the only two, While I Dance, the first one, this most recent one, that have dancers in them. But I will say that the performing arts, in some way, is apparent in novels, because that's kind of the world I lived in.
Nice. Yes. Now, by the way, we have, I read young adult books all the time, so, and I'm going to read a couple of those, and I want to read your most recent one as well. Tell me, we have your website on the screen, lynnslaughter.com. What would our viewers find there?
Well, I do blog regularly, and I write both personal blogs about things that I'm thinking about or experiences, and I also really enjoy interviewing other authors.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I have a lot of blog interviews on my website, and of course there's information about all my books, and there's my bio and all of that kind of stuff. So
Can our viewers order your books through your website?
yes, I think there are links to various places where you can order them.
You're inspiring to me in so many ways, Lynn. You know, starting writing a little later after you were in the arts. I did the same. I was a classical musician, and then I, got into my next thing and got my late masters and things like that. And you're still going. I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but obviously you're still going and going.
I'm going strong. I just turned 76.
Nice.
And I have to tell you, though, Mike, that earlier today I saw on my publisher's website one of their authors who has just turned 100.
Oh, my goodness.
So I thought, this is very inspiring. I hope that I can keep going as long as she has.
I'm getting the signal that we've gone overtime, but I could talk to you all day, Lynn. Let me just ask you a quick question or two. What's your process? You're still writing, I guess, your next book? You sit down every day at 6 a.m., or do you have a strict structure, or what's your structure?
Well, I try to write in the mornings. I'm very much better in the mornings, and also my process is, I might get a vague snippet of a premise, and then I spend a lot of time working on my characters and character development before I even start my first draft.
Wow.
Because I feel that if I really immerse myself in the lives of my characters, then my book will be much stronger. So that's kind of my process. And after that, I plan loosely, and invariably what I've planned, I change in the process of writing.
Now, do you develop your characters online on you type them in or write them in and develop them over time? That's nice. So.
Yeah, I do.
And do you do it every single day?
I try.
Yeah.
Sometimes life interferes, and something happens, and then I don't write. But I basically try to write every day. Yeah.
And I always start the segment by saying, we have so many viewers who are writing and trying to get past that first one, put the pen down and say, I'm done. And Lynn has done it multiple times. It could be done, and don't stop. So thank you so much, Lynn, for being a shining example for all of us.
Oh, well, thank you, Mike. I've loved talking to you.
Last thoughts for our viewers?
If you want to write, less about talent than it is about perseverance. Do not give up and keep going.
Yeah. Thank you, Lynn. And I'm just going to leave your information on the screen. And this is her newest book, Missed Q. And for our viewers, stick around. We're going to have another author right after this.